But then it seems like you're also making that you might not be making that argument, but you might be making a much stronger argument, which just says, on the moral issues, since there's no baseline, or there's no measure of evaluation on which we could agree, we just shouldn't talk about it. We should get rid of that language more generally, not only when we're talking about what the state should do as opposed to something else, but it's just not worth talking about. It's not worth talking about moral convictions or about morals, because one person will have his morals, another person will have his morals. It's like talking about whether we like vanilla or chocolate, not worth the discussion. And I was wondering which of those.
Well, for purposes of the paper, it's the first view, and that's I think the best example of that was Islade Law versus Oregon. Yeah, Oregon wasn't a very nice guy. He was a Sharpie, took advantage of the other party's ignorance. So we might criticize him, but we should not impose liability. As we should let him enforce his contract. You know, as I mentioned, it's an example of private vices creating public virtue. I'm somewhat sympathetic to the more ambitious view you attribute or you suggested, but it isn't really related to the paper. I think moral reasoning really empty stuff, and the reason is, it's not that it's like your choice of ice cream. It's that people argue from different premises, and an argument from different premises can't be resolved. That's the problem with bin Laden. It's the problem with abortion. If you believe, you know, the fetus is ensouled at conception, I could say I think that's nonsense, but that would be the end of our conversation. And I think that's true of, we have a very large area of moral consensus in the society, but the issues that people want to discuss are the ones where the reason there isn't a moral consensus, or the main reason is that people argue from incompatible premises, and therefore there's no resolution. So it's just kind of propaganda, advocacy, emotion, which has a role, obviously, trying to excite people, you know, show pictures of the fetus in order to bring people to your side, which is fine, you know, like the pictures in Peter Singer's book, Animal Liberation. But that's not reasoning, so I don't. So